It's Thursday, September the 21st, and this is your Barbados Today Evening News Update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Top in the news at this hour, celebratory news coming out of hurricane-ravaged Dominica at this time. 6 Barbadians who were trapped in a remote area of the island after Hurricane Maria struck Monday have been found alive. Hartley Henry, the principal advisor to Dominican Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, told Barbados Today this evening that the Barbadians who were scheduled to depart Dominica last weekend were on a hike when they became trapped in the mountainous terrain.
As a matter of fact, the last area I would wish to be in a hurricane in Dominica, and they were in, because they were part of a hiking group. And so the families really had been very unnerved over the last few days, and it was not one of those situations where you could have, just dismissed their concerns. So, but we were able to, they were able to track them down, and they actually literally had to walk 11 hours, over 30 miles from, the southeastern side of the country right down to Roseau, in order to get, to get to civilization. So, at least that's a bright spark.
Henry said efforts were underway to evacuate other Barbadians in Dominica and return them home.
As a result of Barbadians calling and their families, I know, for example, there's a couple in Mero, in the Mero area, which is in the St. Joseph area. There's another group, I know, in the Dublin area. So the persons have been calling, and we've been trying to send officers and trying to get word out. But basically what we're telling, the word we're sending out to Barbadians, there's essentially try to make your way to Roseau, irrespective of where. And I tell you, if that group could have walked 30 miles, 11 hours to Roseau, then anyone else can. And what we're trying to do is to encourage persons to make their way to Roseau, because there's now enough marine vessels in operation. That if they get it to Roseau, then there's a possibility we'll either get them either to Barbados or to St. Lucia or Martinique somewhere. But the key thing now is for them to take the initiative of getting down to Roseau, because there's no way we can get out to them.
At least 15 people, meanwhile, have died and 20 remain missing in Dominica. Prime Minister Skerrit cried as he spoke to a reporter on the nearby island of Antigua. He said more than 15 people died due to the storm, and that it was a miracle that the death toll was not greater. Hundreds of homes have been destroyed, and the island's airport has been shut down. In Puerto Rico, roads have been turned into rivers, and forecasters say the ongoing heavy rains raise the risk of deadly mudslides. The storm also hit the Dominican Republic on its way north to the Bahamas.
Hurricane Maria thrashing parts of the Dominican Republic Thursday with heavy rain and high winds, killing 10 people so far in the Caribbean. One of the worst hit regions, Puerto Rico, where Maria made landfall as a Category 4 storm, causing severe flooding, flattening homes, and leaving the entire island without power. Reuters spoke to residents like Ida Petrie, who returned to her 5th-story apartment in the capital San Juan once the storm was over, only to see this. Her entire apartment turned upside down by the hurricane. She held on to a box of her daughter's ashes, thankful that the rains didn't sweep it away. Reuters correspondent Dave Graham is in San Juan.
There's been massive flooding in parts of the country, particularly in areas of cheaper housing. It's actually quite hard to tell exactly the full extent of the damage, because the roads in much of the country are still highly impassable. Most of the access roads to the airport, as we understand it, are still closed, and there are a lot of people, especially from the US, who are trapped in the country right now and cannot get out.
In sports now, relentless rain spoiled the party at Trent Bridge today as England and the Windies endured a frustrating afternoon, with the second one-day international getting abandoned. Despite the forecast for rain, a sizable crowd made their presence felt at the venue, and much to their delight, the game did begin on time, with openers Johnny Bairstow and Alex Hayes racing to 21 off just 14 balls before the heavens opened up. The teams will now travel to Bristol for the 3rd game on Sunday.
Who calling? Get your yams and potatoes. Wait, my girl, how you want to see you for long?
I got how you keeping, but you don't sell the nation paper no more.
But that paper ain't selling. This month now I stop selling that. Look, one time I would have make a little dollar on the Sunday sun. But when Sunday night, I still trying to get the weather there.
Well, you know you can't call that the Sunday sun no more. You're going to call that Sunset News. Call at no time that news stale.
People complain that them ain't got nothing in it to read and the price keep going up all the time. A woman abused me so sick the other day, telling me that she does read Barbados today online for free. I couldn't take that abusing soul, so I switched to my potatoes and yams.
Well, let me tell you, if pork selling, you got to raise pigs. How much for the yams?
Oh, 75 cents a pound.
But that's cheaper than that stale news. Give me...
How much you want?
a pound.
Only a pound? Anyhow, these eating real good. Let me wrap them up for you. Come.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back. 3 police officers in St. Lucia have been brought in for questioning over alleged extrajudicial killings. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force mounted an anti-crime strategy in 2010 to mitigate a then spike in criminal gang activity. Lawmen said to be part of the ad hoc task force in late 2010, early 2011, fatally shot 12 people as part of a crackdown on violent crime. And on the global front, President Donald Trump announced an expansion of sanctions on North Korea today and praised China for taking action to limit financial transactions with the isolated communist nation.
Today I'm announcing a new executive order just signed that significantly expands our authorities to target individuals, companies, financial institutions that finance and facilitate trade with North Korea. As I outlined at my address to the United Nations General Assembly, North Korea's nuclear weapons and missile development is a grave threat to peace and security in our world, and it is unacceptable that others financially support this criminal rogue regime.
And that's news and the sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. Now we are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.